Peekaboo.
Hi, I'm Grace. Welcome back to my channel, Growing with Grace Homestead, from the garden to the jars. And today I'm here with my daughter, Melissa. And she has done a video with the baby diapers. And so this video today is going to be about the baby food that I have canned for my grandchild and her son, Zeke. So we have a lot of questions. People ask about, botulism and stuff like that, and baby food and stuff like that. So, and Melissa here has done some little bit research on it, and I think she can give us some really good helpful information.
I guess first thing is make sure you always check with your pediatrician first. They're going to be the best bet. I already checked with our pediatrician, and as soon as I said, what about home canned baby food? Is that safe for him to eat? She actually lit up and she said, that's perfect. She says, that's wonderful. Feed him that and feed him lots of varieties. And I said, okay. I said, that's safe. And she said, yeah. She says, the risk of botulism is so low. But regardless of what she said, I still wanted to do my own research. Because even though the chances are low, if we get lucky, you know what I mean, that's really bad. So if you don't know what botulism is, it's a bacteria that develops in food, it could even be on surfaces or whatever.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It doesn't have to necessarily be food.
Okay.
But it's a bacteria that attacks the central nervous system. And babies have not so good of an immunity right off the bat, so their bodies don't fight it off as well as maybe an adult would. So that's why it's kind of considered high risk.
Okay, I have a question. How much, there's been recalls from what I understand on botulism in baby food, correct?
Yes. Even if it's not homemade, not even baby food. Food in general. I think, I'll have to check my facts, but okay. It was like 900 to 1,000 different recalls in store-bought food items. So that could be anything from produce all the way to canned foods or anything. So just keep in mind when you're weighing your options that botulism, food poisoning, any of that stuff is risk no matter what it is, whether you're making it at home or if you're buying it in a store.
So if it's not that common, then how common is it?
Well, according to the CDC website, and we can link that below so you guys can do your own research on botulism. But according to the CDC website, there was 110 cases of botulism on average a year that is reported. That doesn't necessarily mean that people have died, but that's just the total amount reported. Only 25% of that is foodborne related. So very small. Like, you have more of a chance of getting bitten and killed by a shark, and we live in Ohio, than getting botulism. But there's things that do increase and lower the chances as well.
Okay, we're not putting down baby food from the stores and stuff like that. I mean, they're just as good, aren't they?
A fed baby is a healthy baby. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Don't feel bad if you're feeding them store-bought food because you don't feel comfortable feeding them food at home.
Right. But we have noticed one thing, though, about the difference in taste, that's for sure.
Yes. Now, that's just my own personal... So I'm a certified nutritionist, and I've done my own research on baby food development and lots of different things you can do with babies and food. In my personal opinion, if you open up a can of food from the store, it never tastes what it's supposed to taste like. Like, have you ever opened a can of chicken?
Well, that reminds
food from the baby shower? People were gagging.
You remember at your baby shower, they were passing around, what does this taste like? Remember?
And people couldn't pinpoint what it tasted like.
Right. And so the food that I have made, and I've made it, I got a 40-year-old son and she's 30, and and I've had a granddaughter who's 13 now, and then now we have Zeke. All right, when you open up the food that I make, if you have carrots, you taste carrots. If you have chicken noodle soup, which he went crazy over.
Yeah, he does love the chicken noodles.
Yeah.
The chicken tastes like chicken. It doesn't have this weird fishy aftertaste, which I don't even know how they get in the store.
Yeah.
It just tastes gross. And
Yeah.
the cool thing about your home food is you can season it. Don't be afraid to season your baby food.
It's been cleaned up all the Look at the noise.
I have a question that a lot of people ask me when I'm showing on my videos about making baby food. Why do you have to put salt in it? So after a certain age, should you start introducing a little salt? Doesn't our body need a little bit of salt?
Well, sodium's a natural mineral in the body. Like you need to intake sodium.
Within reason. No?
And sodium and iodine.
Okay.
So iodized salt. That's why you have iodized salt, because your body needs that. Babies at this age are getting everything they need from their breast milk.
Okay.
So you don't really need to add seasonings or salt. I would do it for taste more than anything.
Okay.
And when you do it, they do recommend, the dietary pediatricians recommend doing it small. So not a whole lot of sugar, but still offer them sweet stuff. Not a whole lot of salt, but still offer them salt, more or less to develop proper taste. If you wouldn't eat a bland piece of chicken with no salt on it, then don't expect your baby to eat it and like it either. They're humans too. They have taste buds, you know.
Okay.
But you don't have to use salt if you're not comfortable with it. You don't have to use salt.
Okay.
But it's not gonna hurt them to use it either. So.
All right.
Something that you can do to reduce your risks of botulism is proper sterilization and proper procedure canning the foods that you do. Especially with an infant, you want to be very careful. I mean, with anybody you want to be careful, but my mom's always been really good at that. So go ahead.
Yeah, and I do have a video on, excuse me, about sterilizing your jars. Now, I do know that they do say that when you are using a pressure canner that you don't have to sterilize your jars and stuff. I still do it. Maybe from the old, ways of doing it, but I believe I always sterilize my jars. And I always make sure that my food is good and hot going into my jars. The same with the lids. They say you don't have to sterilize the lids. That's fine, but I still do all of that. So I know in my heart when my grandchildren are eating the food, and I've been doing this for 40 years, and you can see she's still alive. But please follow the instructions on what the canners, what they say. And don't cut corners, don't cheat. Let that steam go out for the 10 minutes before you actually put the gauge on.
Cook it for a allotted amount of time.
Yes, cook it for the amount of time it says, and let the pressure down slow. And that all helps from future jar leakages and stuff like that. So just be safe and be very cautious. And but I really believe your baby's going to love the food a whole lot better.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, and price-wise, wow.
Well, you can't beat it price-wise.
Okay, just to give you an example, like this jar of carrots. Now the smaller, so how many servings would be in this? It'd be about 4 servings, right? No, not now, I guess.
He eats a lot of it. I would say that would be 2 or 3 servings.
Okay.
Depending how hungry he is.
All right. Well, when I was canning for this size jar here.
Those are all like single servings.
Okay, but in the very beginning, when he started to eat,
yeah,
I broke it down to 4 cents for 4 servings.
Right.
So it's like let's say the most 20 cents for this jar, and now this one is applesauce. You can't.
You can't beat that. Plus the cost of the jar, but even then.
Yeah, I've had the jars for so long that I've already gotten my money back in the jars.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, look how colorful it is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, I don't know if this is true or not, or if it is, but a thought came through your mother's mind right now. That could be scary. would the brightness of the color be attractive to the child?
Yeah, I mean, shapes, texture, color, all those things are attractive to anyone who eats food. So, I mean, children especially,
Okay.
yeah,
All
makes
right.
it more enticing.
Okay. All right. Well,
He loves it.
does he? Okay. I know he does. All right. But, you know, and I do plan on coming out with a cookbook, a basic cookbook for baby food. And if you don't have a canner to can, that's fine. You know, one thing you can, especially for fruit and stuff like that, you can buy a bath canner. They're cheap in the stores where you totally submerge the jar down in the water. You know, you don't have to pressure cook fruit.
Yeah, if that scares you.
Yeah, if it scares you. That's what's called bath, you know,
Water
canning.
bathing.
Water bathing and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, and the other thing is, you know, people put, you can freeze it.
Yeah, freezing is an option too, but you still want to make sure the food is cooked.
Okay, then one more thing, then we'll wrap it up here. The other thing, and I'm not familiar with it because I just learned what it was from you. It was called lead weaning.
Yes. Baby lead weaning.
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's not new, but it's the big thing right now. It's all over social media, and it's basically where you hand your kids what you would eat within a list of foods. You'd hand them like full pieces of chicken or broccoli, and just let them eat at it and chew and gag at it, spit it back up if they need to. And it teaches them how.
Okay.
I know that makes in her generation that makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because you didn't give your kids solid foods, you gave them pureed foods. So the question is pureed foods outdated now? And my answer is no. There's nothing wrong with baby lead weaning if you're doing it safely. I am scared of it.
Thank you.
Personally, I am scared of it.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with it being right or wrong. It's just I get anxiety putting full bits of food in my 5-month-old's mouth.
So I guess learn first aid, right?
Well, yes, and it's funny because I'm a personal trainer. I'm up to date with all my CPR, and I have the infant stuff too. But there's a lot of, I don't want to call it mom shaming because it's not necessarily mom shaming, but there's a lot of opinions going around that make some moms feel, and even myself included, at times bad because we're not giving our kids the full experience of food and doing what is going on right now, right? Doing what's popular.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. After I've thought about it, do what makes you comfortable as a mom. If handing your child a full piece of broccoli gives you anxiety, mash it up. If your kid is eating, your kid is healthy. And you don't have to feel any mom shame, guilt, or bad off social media or people around you that, oh, you should be lead weaning. You're doing fine. Do what makes you feel comfortable. Even if my baby is comfortable with it, even if my baby is ready and he's showing all the signs that he's ready to eat solid food, I'm not ready for that. And guess what? He's gonna live. He's gonna live eating, pureed foods, and he's gonna learn how to eat just like any other kid.
Yeah.
Do what makes you feel comfortable.
Okay, so, well, we're going to wrap this up, and I've got a video. I'd like to, a clip of a video with Zeke, and I think stick around and watch it here. That's how I'll close the ending here, okay? All right, well, thank you for joining us here with Growing with Grace Homestead, from the garden to the jars, and please hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time, friends. Thank you.
Peekaboo.
Bye.
Boo. Oh, boo. Oh, boo.